Welcome to our Altergene event. This is a really fun thing that we're going to be doing today, and it's something we're going to be doing more and more, which is just doing a public showcasing of one of the blockchain games that we are developing and here at Game Theory. So starting off with Altergene, which is our maze chase game, which is inspired by Pac-Man. The goal for us with releasing Altergene was really as a proof of concept was to show our community, show our investors, show the marketplace that we're able to build and develop and put out a real live blockchain game. You know, in the seniority space, you see a lot of different protocols come out with certain types of different features, but they generally all seem to be like the same like kind of number of things. It's like, maybe some new farms, maybe a lottery, maybe some kind of node or some NFTs, but we're not aware of anyone in the space that's actually out there that has built some real genuine games, like a game you can actually play that's fun, that has prizes, has awards. And so that was our goal. And our goal is to build an entire ecosystem of different blockchain games. And our first one is Altergene. With the launch, I just wanted to go through with you guys kind of like what our experiences have been with it and what we've taken from this kind of first iteration of putting a game out into the market and the things that we've learned, things that we're going to do differently, like moving forward with our next games. So a big thing to keep in mind is that it's really never been done before. Like when it came to looking out into the market and seeing what other projects have been doing, the combination of a real game and having it really be in DeFi on blockchain is very separate things. Like, I've had a ton of conversations, interviewed a ton of different developers, and there's actually not only are they different skill sets, but there's actually like a large difference of opinion between game developers and between DeFi developers. A lot of game developers actually aren't the biggest fans of cryptocurrency. They kind of have seen the worst sides of crypto with like the scams and the pump and dump and the Ponzi schemes, and they're kind of quite purists about developing games. And a lot of people who are blockchain developers and really into DeFi aren't really game developers. So for us to have someone like Sweetie, who is that bridge between those two sides of things is it's very rare in terms of mindset, and it's very rare in terms of skill set. So when we looked around, there wasn't really any models that we could go after. It's not simple as just forking a game and doing this. So with our first game, all the mechanics on the back end had to be built from scratch. The game itself had to be essentially built entirely from scratch as well. And so along with that innovation, there's also going to be like lessons and things to learn along the way. One of the things that's big for us too as being on the blockchain is obviously we have the network conditions to keep in mind, and we all know what's been going on across the last week. And so with all the volatility and so many buys and sells going on in the Phantom network, it's meant that the gas prices have skyrocketed. It's meant the network congestion has been huge as well. And so all those things affect the running of the game because the game is on the blockchain. So these are just all things that are part of the consideration and things for us to learn and understand and know how to do better as we move forward. And the other part of it too is the tokenomics model as well. So the actual game itself places like ceilings or gives you the opportunities of how much you can add the play to earn element to it, how enticing and how engaging can you make those games. And so these are all things that we've learned. And so moving forward, some of the things that we're going to be doing is first off, we're going to have a focus on turn-based games. The benefit of us doing that is it means that the server concerns or the way that the servers impact the game becomes much reduced because you're not needing that constant every second feedback from those servers. So it means that based on wherever you are around the world, it's going to be a lot easier and people aren't going to have those same network issues when we're having those turn-based games. The other thing about turn-based games, it allows us to have more progression in the games. And so, like I'm someone who plays mobile games, like just like passing the time, or when I'm like out and about, like Candy Crush is one of the big ones. And I don't even know how many years I've had Candy Crush on my phone. I think last time I checked, I was on like level like 2000. And that's the beauty of a progression based game, is that like the game never ends. They just keep on adding updates and keep on adding new levels. And the easiest levels, maybe it takes you like the first try you get it, and then it takes 5 tries. And I know there's been levels that I've been stuck in for like months where like I would just go back and play here and there and still be on the same level. You have your 5 lives, and then when they run out, you can't play the game anymore for that day, and or for how long it takes to respawn those lives. And so we're really going to be focusing on those progression based turn based games where there's no like end limit on it, but it's always getting more complex. It's always getting more difficult to really keep people engaged in those games over the longer term. The other thing we're looking at is the economic model too. So the bigger the games are, the more different elements they have to it, the easier it makes it to have those opportunities to add that play to earn element. And we're really focused on trying to make the games at least break even in terms of the revenue that is going out of the game versus the revenue that's coming into the game. Ideally, having it be turning a profit, but we don't want the games to just be things that we're losing money off of, because even the benefit of investors coming into the protocol, but we want the games in and of themselves to be profitable. So that's something that we're going to have a big focus on. And the more elements there are in the game, the bigger the games are, the easier it makes it to do that, because we can add more financial elements to different parts of the game. The other thing we looked at was the marketing calendar too. So like the event we're doing here with Altergene, we're really going to be very conscious about when we're releasing the game, and we're going to do another one of these events around the release of our next game, which is the Angry Birds. Same thing with the RPG game as well, and just really making it targeted. We're also looking at different GameFi influencers who are going to be bringing on board when we have more games out there, so that, you know, when they're promoting the project and the ecosystem, we can tap into that play to earn space, tap into the gaming space. People who might not already be in DeFi investing, or people who, you know, used to playing those games, and they can just come in, buy their game tokens, play the game. They don't necessarily need to be a part of the investing DeFi side of the ecosystem, but it means that we get to benefit from all the people coming in, bringing in that revenue, and then it benefits all of our longer term investors. And the other thing that we took from it too was also the development time. So with building the level of games that we're trying to build out here, there's a complexity that comes along with them. There's time that it takes coming along with us too. When we first were looking at putting out Altergene, is like we had a schedule that we anticipated that would take, but then kind of when getting deep into it and really understanding the complexities with everything, with building the back end on the blockchain to making it so that all the foundations were there in place, it took a lot longer than we anticipated. It's going to be quicker moving forward because now those foundations are there, but it's also something that we're going to be a lot more conservative with our estimations, and you guys have seen that with the new roadmap. We're giving ourselves actually a lot more time than we need. So, you know, for example, like we actually could have already put out, you know, the lottery in the marketplace. We wanted to take the time to make sure we do a really deep audit, take the time to releasing it with marketing and with campaigns built around them as well. And so we're just going to be a little bit more deliberate with those schedules, just to give each of those features the spotlight and the attention that they deserve in terms of development and in terms of marketing too. So what you'll see over the next couple of months is that every week or couple of weeks, there'll be a new feature coming out, adding more to the ecosystem. And honestly, with everything that's been going on with the market right now, one of the benefits of that is that we're looking at, you know, when the market really starts turning around and really starts recovering, people who were looking at us before the kind of mini crash we just had and after it is just going to see a much more mature and much more developed protocol. So we think we're going to be in a really strong position to be able to take advantage of when the market turns around again. So these are all the things that we're kind of doing with Altergene, the lessons that we've learned, the steps that we're taking moving forward. The next game that we're going to be releasing is our different version of Angry Birds. Some of you guys might have seen this already. Some of you guys may not have seen it. So I'm just going to show you a video of the gameplay here. Let's see. This is what we have for Angry Birds. Cool. So that is what we have coming up next. In terms of our development schedule, the first thing that we have coming up is the NFT marketplace, and we're also going to be releasing our Generation 2 NFTs. So that is on the development schedule in the next like week and a half. And then once those are out, then the next thing that's on the development schedule is getting our Angry Birds game out. So that's what we've got coming up there, guys. Now moving on to the main event. So for the guys who are going to be in the event, if you could share your screens, and we're going to see how many of us can get into the Altergene game. This is really just for a little bit of fun, guys. It's just to show some people playing the game, like have a little bit of fun, have a little bit of friendly competition. Just going to do it for about 5 or 10 minutes, just get a couple of rounds in, and it's really just to show the community, and there's something we're going to put out on our social channels and just show them that we have a real live game, and just have some fun playing it together, and something we're going to plan on doing more moving forwards, and especially when it gets to Angry Birds and the RPG game as well, where there's actually a little bit more of like an easily comparable element. It'll be easier to do that as well. So let's see if we can get into one of these servers here. All right, I'm gonna gamble and try Asia. See how Asia's doing. Oh, it's been a busy morning on Phantom today. Give it a second. No, Asia's not liking it. All right, let's try that again.
Yeah, I'm having a little trouble getting through this gas at the moment, but I'll share screen as soon as I sort it out.
Yeah, Phantoms. I think it's good to see. It's like this is a part of having a real blockchain game is that you're really on the blockchain, and if the network is very congested, it's not been easy to buy. Now he's all the way down in fourth place, 158,000. BAB. So we can praise them and their high level Altergene skills. All right, let's see if it'll last. But he's ready. All right, we're in. Here we go. Let's see what we can do. Oh dear, not a good start. Get him. All right. A little bit of warming up. That's all. Nothing too crazy. Oh, like this. Uh-oh. Ah, depends when these guys are chasing you. Oh. I will give some excuses because
Don't want to
they
distract
got
you
me.
from the match there, but it's saying that we can't stream into this channel.
Oh, interesting.
Let me fix it.
Canon is on it. Hey guys, I'm disposed now. This is all focus. It's all about the W. Speed and a ghost.
Can you try now, please? Yep, it's got the option there. Thanks. You're welcome, man.
Here we go. See, Ganon is. Oh, I'm gonna blame that on the lag over there. Anyone in the audience got any tips? Feel free to shout them out. RIP. Has anyone else been able to get in? All right. So where did we end up? Like 10,000. And fairness, I remember that got some glory days in the early couple of days. I got in there like whatever, like 25,000 or something in the top five. So I'm proud of myself. It's cool. All right, cool guys. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it from our end. The whole goal for us, like I said, moving forward is to have an entire ecosystem of these different blockchain games, and really it's about the volume of use for us. So that's what we could lot on the website how many credits that we've had burned just playing with Altergene, and like when we have a second game coming in, different type of games and allow us to attract a slightly different audience. And then when the role-playing RPG game comes out, that's going to allow us to attract a whole different new set of audiences as well. And the tokenomic, because it's a much bigger game, we're going to be able to be a lot more expansive. It's going to be free to play, so people can come into the game without having to pay anything. But then if they want to get deeper in the game or get more out of the game, that's when the play to earn element comes out of it and the financial element comes too. So it's really going to be a place where we're looking to attract a lot of different users who are all going to be contributing to the ecosystem. And the more our games are getting used, the more those game tokens are getting burnt and given a utility, and which means that the more valuable the ecosystem is going to be as a whole. Just finish off reviewing what we have added in terms of our challenges. So we have seasonal challenges and we have daily challenges. So if we head over to the website, so we go to leaderboards. All right. So seasonal challenges that we have in place. So we have for the challenge for the highest level score. So right now that I think it's episteme. So that's 12,330. So whoever has this highest score in any single level would win that prize. We've got the most enemies defeated in a game session. Got the highest level that one person can reach, which right now is level 16. Most different power ups collected, which is 66 right now, and the top spender in terms of how many credits they buy. And then the daily rewards we have is the most enemies defeated, which right now is Simric. Prizes for those different things. So we've got for the high score, 500 game, highest level 250, most enemies 300, highest level reach 250, most power ups 250. And then we also are giving back some money to the people who are top spenders. And also, if you are an NFT holder, you get a higher boost to your rewards than people who are non-NFT holders too. So that's giving utility for our Generation 0 and Generation 1 NFTs. And then for the daily reward, so a random user gets 50 games. So that's kind of a little lottery you get for playing Altergene on any given day. Plus, whoever defeats the most enemies on that given day is also going to get a prize of 50 game. And then you can see the high score leaderboard right here. So again, just another way for us to, or the way for us to add the play to earn element into the game. And we just imagine like over time, the more people that play, the more these scores are going to go up, the more incentive there is to play in terms of the ability to win on a daily basis and also those seasonal awards too. And then as we add more games to it, there's going to be a lot more elements people to be able to earn from playing our different games. All right, there, guys. So that is us for today. Again, it's been a very challenging week for the market, but I think one of the things for us as a team is that knowing that we have a really legitimate roadmap. When you look at a lot of other projects in crypto, it's like, researching, I get sent videos, get told to look at this project, that project. It really is amazing how few projects have a genuine roadmap or are doing something that's genuinely different to what other projects are doing. It's really 95, 99% of what's out there are just pure copy and pasting. They're not really doing anything that's different. They don't really have a roadmap. If you ask them, it's like, hey, what's your plan for the long term? Where do you want to be in 6 months, in 12 months, in 2 years? It really is just like the same kind of general, we want to be around and make money type thing. Whereas for us is that we have a legitimate roadmap where we have our seniority protocol and then we're building our ecosystem of games. The Altergene game you've seen so far is going to be the simplest game of any of the ones that we put out there. You're going to see another level step up in terms of our version of Angry Birds. You're going to see a big jump up there in terms of our turn-based RPG game, which is similar to Final Fantasy. You're going to see us have our own little mini world inside of that game. We have Brutal Network, which is our even bigger game, which is coming up. We're going to have a lot more different types of games, more on the level of like Angry Birds, like introducing poker, Space Invaders, it's like chess, all of these different games. And every single new game that gets released is going to appeal to a slightly different audience. So maybe Pac-Man isn't quite your thing, but you're really excited about the idea of Angry Birds, or you're really excited about the idea of a Final Fantasy RPG game, or you're really excited about Space Invaders or chess or poker. It's going to allow us to appeal to all of these different types of people. And every new game that we add into the system gives another incentive people to play, allows us to attract another different type of person. And the ecosystem is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger over time. The more games we have lots of options of things we can do. We can bring in different developers who have their own original game ideas and add them to the ecosystem. We can sell shares in our different games. Obviously, people already get indirectly the revenue coming from the shares in terms of giving game utility and burning those game tokens, but we also have the option that people can actually buy shares in the game and they can revenue share based on each individual game. So as the ecosystem grows, there are so many different options that we have to grow and expand, and it's only going to get bigger over time. So the markets are going to go up and the markets are going to go down. Anyone who's been in crypto for a really long time, like the market crash happened in 2013, it happened in 2018. We've seen obviously a big drop off happen in the last week, but over time, crypto is only going to go in one direction. It's still only a tiny percentage. There's only like 5% of the entire world who own cryptocurrency, and that is the majority of that is people who are in the 20 to 40-year-old range. So as our generation gets older and older, the younger generation coming behind us are only going to be more and more used to using crypto. The metaverse is coming along, and so over the long term, there's only going to be more and more money flowing into the crypto space. I was reading an article that's saying that the projection of the gaming industry is going to be well over $200 billion they're projecting it's going to be. And so that money is going to get distributed. And for us to be able to tap into that system is going to loud, there's just huge potential for us to go in there. And being one of the people who are trying to pioneer really genuinely combining cryptocurrency and gaming, put those two things together. And so I think we have tremendous potential over the long term, where this is one of, I think, only not many projects you can look at and be like, there is genuine reason for this to be way more valuable over the long term than it is currently today. Whereas most crypto projects are at their best when they first start, and then it's really kind of a slow bleed because they are just Ponzi schemes at the end of the day. And it's the people that sell first are the ones that end up winning. Whereas we feel the opposite here is the people who are in earliest, they're going to benefit from all the development and everything that we're doing over the long term. So for all you guys who are here with us, you're still super early, you're only a couple of months in, but we really believe that we're building something special here. And for all you guys who are with us along that journey, we think that you're going to get tremendous financial benefits too, and also getting to be part of the community and part of that journey. So thanks so much for tuning in there, guys. Stay safe out there, and then we'll speak with you guys soon.